I want to ask a question. Can bullying be eliminated? Now, like I said, like during my 7th grade year, that was also a time when I was getting bullied a lot in school. And this is the late 80s. Bullies were a thing. Even into the 90s, bullies were a thing. Getting beat up in the bathroom or something like that. I remember this one time, it was like, I was trying to think of specific times where I got bullied, and I came up with this one. Because this one, I do remember. Because I had a book on my desk. And it was the third one, the Voyage of the Dawn Treader from C.S. Lewis, the Chronicles of Narnia series. And this guy, he sat behind me in class, he goes, "What's that book on your desk?" This is the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. It's the 3rd book in the series, the Chronicles of Narnia. And it's good. It's good. I like it better than Prince Caspian. I think I like it better. It's like, why are you reading books that, we're not supposed to read? It's like, what? It's like, you don't have to read that book for English class, do you? I mean, I was looking at it, it's like, oh, should I have read that book? And I was like, why are you reading books that you don't have to read? I was like, because I like it. And he started smacking me in the head. Why are you reading books you don't have to read, dumbass? What, slap? Why do you read books you don't have to read, dumbass? Slap. 5 or 6 times. Teacher comes in. She's like, oh, okay, settle down. And that was it. Bullying existed, And I'll tell you honestly, every bully I challenged, every bully I went at, every bully I fought, didn't bully me again. All right? So when these teachers these days saying, hey, fighting doesn't solve anything. You should go get a teacher. It's like, sorry, fighting does solve a lot of things. World War II. So, I mean, and this idea that violence is never okay is ridiculous. All right, especially in this day and age, because in this day and age, you do see like classic bullying in some ways, but it's different. It's more evolved now. Because of social media, I think bullying has evolved. It's evolved into these Karens, as they might say. It's evolved into these wokes, losing their temper. It's things like an entitled minority saying, you can't talk to me like that because of your skin color and my skin color. And anyone who has a conversation like that is like, you can't say X because of your skin color or my skin color. That's racism. Stop doing that. And so what we've ended up with is this new evolved form of bullying, which is a sort of state-sanctioned bullying or culturally sanctioned bullying. If you go out there in public, start with a Make America Great Again hat, that's when people are allowed to bully you. That's where the bully, pressure valve is allowed to come out culturally in our country. And you got to understand is like, if you really want to stop bullying, number one, I think you can't. All right. If you want to stop bullying, it's not going to be by like not letting kids bully each other and solve their problems on their own. All right. Because that's what kids need to be learning in schools, how to solve problems on their own. All right. But what you get is like a teacher saying is like, if you must bully, this is the direction you are allowed to bully. And that is wrong. It's almost enabling bullying. And then you wonder why these cities start burning, like in the summer of love, like they say. You wonder why Ferguson happened. You wonder why Minneapolis happened. You wonder why these kids are acting out the way they are. You see these clips coming out of schools where let's be honest, some black kid is in some white teacher's face and like attacking him. But the teacher doesn't dare raise his hand to the kid because it's going to be called a hate crime. And if some jackass walks onto your train in New York City and he starts ranting and raving like he's going to hurt somebody, I don't care about prison, I don't care about getting killed, and some white guy ends up taking him down, that white guy gets accused of being a racist. Because that's the kind of bullying that is allowed. Using violence to solve a real problem like some crackhead running into a train and causing a ruckus, that is considered a hate crime. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think bullying has always been ridiculous, but it should be gotten out of the system back when they're like in 6th and 7th grade. All right? Bullies need to learn before they graduate high school is like you don't treat people that way because sometimes somebody's going to fight back. And you might lose because you underestimated them. All right? That's why I took wrestling. That's why I learned Aikido. I did those things because I was bullied. All right? And eventually it got to a point where I got a good hand lock on a bully and threw him into a wall or something like that. And thank you, Aikido. And he's like, oh, I'm not messing with that guy. In fact, you probably become closer to that person, especially if you're guys. You know, guys get into a fight, seriously. Why don't people understand this? This used to be common knowledge. You get into a fight with a guy, next thing you know, you're hanging out with them. All right? Because in a fight, you can learn, it's like, hey, maybe I was wrong about you. So the problem is I think, is like kids are not getting the bullying out or defeated in high school. The bullies are not being defeated in high school where they need to be defeated. And so it ends up becoming like flowing into the universities, floating into the business world, floating into the rest of people's lives. And now it's become this culturally accepted bullying, this state-sanctioned bullying. And that is wrong. It's even worse, if you ask me.